Hello there, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle with me, Sam Leterna. We are not virtual today. We are live and in person with, yes, truly blessed, Casey Navarro.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Wrestle.
Oh, my God. It's so cool. Be here with the tea, even though I have water.
Yeah, you know, we're at a show right now, so we got to make it work.
Yes.
But water is hydrating, and we will be able to keep our throats hydrated during this time. But you are on fire. You've been on fire for years, but particularly end of 2020, beginning of 2021, getting the opportunity to be on AEW Dark multiple times against like the likes of Sonny Kiss, against Ray Phoenix, Butcher and the Blade, all of these notable names putting like faith in you to have a match with you because you're truly blessed, of course. And we cannot forget the Impact Genesis tournament as well. So in terms of just being on fire this year, how do you plan on like using that momentum to your favor moving forward?
First of all, it's so crazy. You know, I've been doing this sub 15. I'm 21 now. I started in 2015, and I'm about to be 6 years in. So it's been really wild. It's been a wild ride, but I feel like I finally found myself, and that's why I'm getting all these huge opportunities. You know, like you said, Impact. You know, that was insane. The AEW just constantly getting called back is just insane. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, man. I guess I just leave all my faith in God and just keep doing what I'm doing. You know, I was never really believed in a lot when I was younger, so I use a lot of that as fire and fuel to get me to where I gotta go. I feel like I have a lot of people I need to prove wrong. I mean, there's even times I go in locker rooms and people look at me like, oh, he's cocky, oh, it's because he's young and he's getting these opportunities. It's not even that. It's just that I can back up everything I say because I'm young, but I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
And yeah, you do exude that confidence for sure. I've heard both positive and negative things in that light, and that's what Wrestle Tea is for, right? Talking about the tea. What do you think about like the detractors who probably don't know you very well, right? That say Casey Navarro's cocky, he's this, he's that. How do you plan on proving them wrong? Just through your work, or?
It's a little bit of everything. You know, when I was younger, I was bullied a lot. I didn't have a lot of friends because I wanted to be a wrestler. So it was like very, very frowned upon. And I never understood why, because I was always a nice kid. I always wanted to get along with everybody, but nobody liked me for it. And then I come to wrestling, and I'm still that same nice kid, but you know, you gotta earn everybody's respect. And then when you finally do the things that you think would get their respect, they start hating on you. So it's like, it's almost like I'm in school all over again. Like, you just can't win everybody over, but you know what, I really don't care about haters. Like, I know in this locker room there's a lot of people that hate on me now, and my friend brought it up before, and I looked at him and I go, hey man, haters gonna hate, man, because you're doing what they're not, and they're not working as hard as you, that's all it is. And I work pretty hard, man. This is my first time in maybe like 4 years I really just spent like 2 weeks home. Especially during the start of this year, every week I was flying somewhere else. And it was hard on my mom for sure because she's not used to me not being home like that. My friends, they're here. This is the first time I'm seeing them in 3 months. And, you know, it feels good to be home. You know, I was able to get a tattoo during my time, spend time with my dad in Miami. But, you know, I gotta work, man. This is what I want. I don't work a regular job. I live off wrestling. This is all I got.
Really?
This is all I want. Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, you're betting on yourself fully and entirely, and it shows. When you enter the ring, I feel like you have this swagger, this confidence, but not this cocky confidence that I'm talking about. More so that like you're just so self-aware now of who you are in the ring, and you're ready to present that to a wider audience. That's how I see it, at least when I was doing my research on you for the Wrestle Tea show, of course. But let's talk about this term prodigy. A lot of people have thrown that word around. I've heard that word used in reference to Casey Navarro in locker rooms. A lot of notable stars seem to have put their faith in you, like Brian Cage, like Enzo Amore. How does that feel?
So it's so mind-blowing sometimes, you know, like when you're a young kid, you're watching these guys on TV, and then next thing you know, you share a locker room with them, and then they just see something in you, and they want to help. Like, and it's no secret, Brian Cage is the reason why I got to AEW. If it wasn't for him putting the word in saying, just give this kid a shot, I would have never been there, I don't think. You know, he got me there last October, and the match was okay. It was nothing to brag about, but you know, he saw that, like, I just really wanted to come back. And, like, he told them, like, just give him one more shot. One more. And I came back determined, and now they just keep bringing me back, which I'm blessed No pun intended. Yes, it was.
We're going to use that as often as possible.
I'm blessed to say that I'm, one of the only guys that's not living in Florida and not signed that they just keep bringing back. And I'm far. I'm in New Jersey, or sometimes I'll be in Miami, but most of the time I'm in New Jersey. So, like, for them to just keep bringing me back is just awesome. And, Enzo, I just saw him at one show. Told him I was from New Jersey, blew his mind. After that, he was like, oh, you got to come train with me, whatever.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest mentors I had was Shad Gaspard before he passed away.
Yes.
And I have a great story for that. I was 16 years old. I was in a show in New Jersey. He was on it. And, I was just talking to him and JTG, and he walked away, and then he called me over. And I was, like, confused. Yeah, but he told me he wanted me to help him with his shirts, like, to bring him somewhere. And all that night, I just cut a promo. Because I was actually supposed to wrestle. I had a big match I had to hype up the following month, but I was injured at the time. And he just looked at me and he goes, you're going to make it. And I was like, what do you mean, dude? I'm only 16. I only just talked on the mic and it was terrible. He was like, I see something in you, and whatever it is, you're going to make it one day. He's like, if you ever need anything, like, I'm here for you. And for years, he always had my back. And my last conversation with him was actually 2 weeks before he passed. He was on my Instagram Live. And I'm fortunate to actually have the section of him talking where he was like, man, I remember meeting you when you were 16. And, like, you just have that it. I don't know what that it is, but you have that it. Like, you're not a big guy, you're not jacked, you're not 6'2", but you just have that it that people are missing. And he's like, I just want everybody to see that. Then 2 weeks later, unfortunately, he passed away, saving his son, which was a very heroic act. But I mean, him just, like, saying, like, stuff like that, like, I just knew, like, all right, now I gotta make him proud. Now I got guys like Brian believing me. I gotta make Brian proud every time I go to
There's
AEW.
so much more on the line.
Yeah,
right?
like, I just can't let them down.
Credibility as well, vouching for you.
Yeah, like, I promised Shad I would make it, so, like, if I don't make it, I feel like I let him down.
Yeah.
And every time I go to AEW, I look at Brian, I'm like, Papa Cage, I'm gonna make you proud tonight. Because I feel like if I go out there, it goes back on him, because it's like, he's the guy that brought me in. So, I just feel like there's a lot on the line, but I thrive under pressure. I love it, so.
Well, you did mention that you thought that the first match at AEW was just okay. Was that because you were nervous? I know that's a high pressure situation, right?
Yeah. It was scary because, I was nervous. The first night I didn't wrestle. It was the second night I did. And I'm getting ready to go, and, like, they were changing, like, things before we went out, so I was, like, getting nervous about that, and I'm like, oh my god, now I gotta get my character over somehow. We only have, like, 4 minutes, so, like, I don't know what to do, and I look over and I see Tony Khan's watching my match. I'm like, oh man, this is too much. And then I went out there, and then my opponent kind of forgot some stuff, and I forgot some stuff, and then it just all got mixed up, and but then we made it work, but it was just like, oh man, I don't want my first impression to be like that. Well, I made sure the next time I was there, that was never gonna happen again, and I'm good now. I feel comfortable. Like, it's to the point where if I'm not there, it feels weird. Which I guess is what you want. You want that to be your job. You want that to be every day. So it makes me want to be there even more.
Yeah. Keep the hustle strong, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I have a vanity question for you. This is just something that I personally want to know. Maybe some of the fans might want to know. We'll see.
Sure.
But KC. KC.
Yeah. What
does this stand for? I was coming up with different, like, possibilities in my head. I'm super curious.
So.
Kevin.
No.
Okay.
So, when I first started wrestling, my real name's Christian.
Oh, okay, with a K.
With a C.
With a C, okay.
But when I had, like, my first real match, my trainer looked at me and goes, you look like a kid. You should name yourself Kid Christian. And I hated it. I hated the name. And I was like, okay. But I ran with it for a long time. And then it just got to the point where, like, a lot of people wouldn't book me because it was making me seem too much like a kid. Because I already looked like one. I was
and
really
you were
young.
A kid, right? Yeah.
And I was a kid. So, like, the name was holding me back. And then it just got to the point where I was like, all right, too many people are calling me KC. I don't want to change my Twitter handles, my Instagram handles. I was like, I guess maybe I should just keep it somehow. But how am I going to do it? And then my other trainers were telling me, oh, why don't you keep KC and add your last name? And your last name's a great last name. And I was like, I guess. And ever since I used that, my career just took off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it just goes to show, like, you have to do what's best for you career-wise, right? And you mentioned earlier that you have come into your own as a performer. You feel more like confident in what you're doing. What was the moment that changed for you? Because I've been seeing you wrestle like locally for years, and I always thought that you were good and that you stood out. Not that my opinion matters, but like what changed over the past couple of months or year for you?
It was when I partially tore my ACL. I was doing like a Sky Reaper thing. It was like a military type of character, and I had a match. It was actually in this building, and dude did a moonsault, and another wrestler that was in the match pulled me under him. The guy that did the moonsault was 280 pounds. I was like 115. Landed on me. My legs just gave out. Partially tore my ACL on my left knee. I was out for 6 months. Recovered in 3 and took an extra 2 off.
No surgery.
No surgery.
Okay,
I got
great.
very lucky.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, I realized, okay, this is my chance to rebrand myself, because the Sky Reaper thing just wasn't working for me. And I was like, well, what can I do that's like me? And I'm like thinking, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, every day I'm thinking. And I was like, man, I really use the word blessed all the time. That's like my word. I've been using some young. I'm like, oh, why not? Like, why don't I just go through with it? Because I was practicing like a bad guy character in a different company, and I was kind of saying I was blessed. So I was like, you know, what if I go with this? Came up with some catchphrases, got comfortable. Next thing you know, I do it in front of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at an Evolve tryout, and they were like, dude, that's like a WWE type of character, man. Like, you can do that as a good guy, a bad guy. Like, that's a character that everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing it. The pandemic hit. I started doing these lives called Next to Be Blessed. And like, I was bringing like fans in and like helped my Instagram go up a little bit. And I was like, I think I finally found what works for me. I think I found it. Because in wrestling, like, not everybody can find themselves right away. I mean, it took me 5 years. But I finally think I found like my thing. And then I got this tattooed. I got my first tattoo. I got Blessed tattooed. And I was like, you know what? I think this is it.
Yeah, you've solidified it in
Oh,
skin.
Yeah. And that's why I do my pose like this. Because it's because of my tattoo.
Yeah, you gotta show it off, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I needed to know. I needed to know. I know that you live in Jersey, but you spend a sizable amount of time in Miami.
Right.
And I creeped your social media because, you know, I have to get the tea before I interview you.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I saw that you recently attended a Heat game.
Oh, yeah.
And this was live, right? So my question is, because I know you've been at wrestling shows during the pandemic, and now you've attended another like live sports show.
Yeah.
What's the difference in the vibe?
Oh, man. I mean, I guess I could compare it to AEW because they're both like in arenas, so they both have fans there. At a Heat game, I feel like they have more people only because Daly's place is kind of small.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's really spread out. Like, it's like unbelievable. Like, I had a whole row to myself, like a whole section basically to myself.
Wow.
Like, it was like everybody was like sectioned off. But I mean, I guess because you're in an enclosed arena, it's like still very loud.
Yeah.
You know, AEW is kind of the same thing, but I don't know. I mean, I love basketball, and Miami Heat's like my thing. So like, if I go see the NBA in person, the Heat game in person, it's like I'm on cloud 9. But wrestling, like, I feel like, you know, the fans like are so much a little more intimate. Like, I feel like basketball, you were able to sit a lot closer. Wrestling, you can't. Like at Daly's place, people are like up high.
Really?
At the NBA game, I mean, there were some people that were like on the floor. I mean, like there was like 4 people, because I mean, you got to pay a lot of money to sit there. But it was still like they were all spread out on the floor, and there wasn't a lot of seats there, and like you can even sit like closer. Like at AEW, it's only the wrestlers that are surrounding the ring.
Of course,
you
yeah,
can't
for
be on the
safety
floor.
reasons, right?
So I guess those are probably the differences. Like basketball, you can be a little closer. Wrestling, you're pushed back a little more. I feel like those are the differences.
Interesting. Yeah, because usually at indies, it's like
everybody's
the wrestlers.
up close.
Yeah, everyone's like in your face. But yeah, we've had to change the times. But it's good to know though, because I might want to attend a Knicks game or I don't know. I only watch pro wrestling. Embarrassed to say, not really. I love it. But
that's okay.
Yeah, you know.
NBA, basketball's the only sport I watch, so it's okay.
But
Otherwise,
live sports are fun though. Anything live, I'm into. But if it's on television, I get lost unless it's wrestling. You know, it is what it is. But let's talk you and Lio Rush.
Okay.
Because I know this might be a little bit of a sore spot for you. We're going to break this down. I want all of the tea on Lio Rush because on April 9th, you and him are going to go one-on-one at We Run This Town for GCW, not Game Changer. we gotta articulate.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, you're right. It's a soft subject. I guess maybe to take it back to that Prodigy question. he was another guy that mentored me. You know, he was a guy I looked up to, and somebody I believed in. He was a smaller guy. I'm a smaller guy. He made it. I mean, he was a little bit older than me. He made it, and it just inspired me, saying like, oh, I can do that if he can do it.
Yeah.
And he was able to do it, and I just forgot about everybody, you know. And like, I always had his back, even when he was going through stuff in WWE. Like, I was always there for him. And like, he just was like a big star. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, like it's cool talking to you, and then like he'll talk to me, and then like I just won't hear from him like ever, or like he'll leave me on red or whatever. Like it was just like weird. Like it just wasn't the same bond that we had. Like it was like I was just like a fan almost to him. It was like weird. And then next thing you know, unfortunately he got released during the pandemic, which sucks because he has kids and a wife. And I was the first person to hit him up, like, hey man, like if you need anything, let me know, man. I feel bad. And then he started coming back a little bit. Oh man, well, the first thing I want to do on the indies is I want to wrestle you. And I'm like, oh okay, sure, cool, like let's do it. Like I got excited. I needed that,
Absolutely.
I needed that at the time. And next thing you know, he makes this list, and I'm on the list.
The list, yes.
I'm on this big list of all these guys, and a lot of them got that match, but I didn't.
Really?
I didn't get that match, and it hurt because I was like, man, you're promising me, oh, you're gonna be the first match back, and blah blah blah, and it was this guy, it was that guy, but never me. And I'm gonna make sure I get it booked here, and then he wrestles the same guy that he just wrestled the week before. So I'm like, oh, these guys are getting multiple chances to wrestle you, but the guy that had your back, no. Like the guy that you mentored, no.
That's curious. Do you think that Lio Rush is avoiding you perhaps because he feels that the competition between you two is so steep that maybe there's a chance that he could in fact lose?
I think so. I mean, when I was 16 years old, I wrestled him and I beat him. So it's no surprise to me. But I just don't understand. Like, why would you hype me up and say you're gonna do all of that and not follow through? Like, I'm a big promise guy. Like, if I make you a promise I'm gonna do this interview, I'm gonna live up to my promise. Like, I know we tried one time and it didn't work, but I was like, we're gonna make it happen.
Yes.
And I reached out to you, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be here. You gonna be here? And we made it happen. But like, where's Leo? Like, oh, there's plenty of times we were at like Violence and Suffering. Why didn't he say, oh, I'm gonna get the match booked here?
Yeah.
No. There's plenty of times we were at GCW. I went to go visit him. Oh, I'm gonna get you on. Nope. I didn't have anybody come up to me saying, oh, go get your gear. You're gonna wrestle Leo. Nope. But he used me to get himself ready when he wrestled Joey Janela because he had a lot of ring rust. You know what I mean? And now, look at him now. Lio Rush, MTV's The Challenge, and making these crappy ass songs. I mean, no knock on the songs, whatever, but he can do all that, but not give me my match or even give me a phone call and like say what's up, like Merry Christmas or Happy New Year.
Well, he does have all of these projects going on though, right? So maybe he's just busy. Maybe it's not just you that he's doing this to. He's a busy guy post WWE.
You know what it is? I just want my match. It's pretty much it. Like, and like you said, I think he's avoiding me. I think he's scared. You can have all these matches with all these other guys but me. And it's crazy because, a lot of people, like we said earlier, call me cocky. They say I'm full of myself. I walk around with the Gucci on, but literally wrestling paid for all this because it was just my hard work. Sorry you're not working as hard as me to be able to buy stuff like that. I'm sorry. Wrestling bought me a brand new BMW with red interior. I'm sorry you couldn't do that. But I'm working hard, but I don't feel like I'm getting the recognition I deserve. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, like I need this, I should have it right now. Like I believe everything's earned, but I feel like I've earned it. I'm at that point where I feel like I've earned it. And Leo knows that, but Leo's not giving me that match I need to prove it. Like, thank God I did AEW and I wrestled Ray Phoenix and I proved to the world that I can keep up. That was luck, but a full match with Lio Rush would do that much more. And Leo just won't give it to me. But, I had to call him out. I had to call him out because I knew if I called him out, he can't hide anymore. He can't hide behind text messages and phone calls. Like, if I blast him in front of the world, he's got to respond.
That's the beauty of wrestling Twitter, right?
And look what happened. He did. He went and made a crappy song about me. That made no sense because he didn't even talk about me. But whatever. He used me for clickbait. He got a couple views. Congrats, Lio Rush. I don't care. I just know that I'm finally going to get my match on April 9th. Thank God. And I'm gonna bless him. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to kick his ass and I'm going to bless him. And to be honest, and a lot of people know this too, it's not even like a wrestling match for me. Like, it's a fight now. Like, I really want to fight this dude.
It's personal.
Now it's personal. It really, really is personal. And hey, I bring up his wife and his kids, and he can talk about how small I am or how I make no money or how I eat at McDonald's. I don't know what he talks about on Twitter, but it's personal. It's a fight. I want to fight him. I don't want to wrestle him. I want to fight him. I don't want to do any fancy moves. I want to straight up punch him in the face and pull his gummy worm hair out because I don't care, because I think it looks stupid. And that's what I'm going to do. And Leo, if you're watching this, I think you're a bitch, straight up. And I'm going to kick your ass WrestleMania week because that's my moment to prove to everybody why I should have a contract in my hand right now. So, you don't have to tell me. I know.
Well, that is the tea.
That's the tea.
On Wrestle Tea. Lio Rush, you've been called out by Casey Navarro,
Straight
and
up.
on April 9th, you guys will have a chance to go one-on-one, and we'll see who is the best.
Or the blessed.
Or the blessed.
The best of the blessed.
The best of the blessed.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a t-shirt.
There you go.
Ah. Well, thank you so much for coming on Wrestle Tea,
thank you
Casey.
for having me.
I really appreciate it. And for those of you watching, please subscribe to Wrestle Tea. Everything in the bio with Casey's info right down there. Follow, and buy his merch. Support him.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Stay blessed, y'all.